We're gonna talk about the way you cook, your books. There will be questions, but first of all, you lived in Amsterdam.
I did, yeah. Right? Between 1995 and 1997, a long time ago. Most people weren't even born.
You were
right?
29, no, because you were still studying. You were writing your master thesis about literature.
Yeah, I studied comparative literature and philosophy at Tel Aviv University, and I was just doing my dissertation, and I came here to just kind of, finish it.
What kind of student were you when we're talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll? Where do you rate yourself?
Yeah, like there. Yeah.
You were all over the place.
Yeah, I was a little bit all over the place, and Amsterdam is quite distracting like that, I have to say. So I spent 2 years of finishing my dissertation, but also going out a lot and doing kind of naughty things, and then I pulled myself together. After 2 years, I finished my dissertation, and I handed it in to my supervisor at university, and I told her this would be probably the last you hear from me because I want to change my career, or I'm thinking of changing my career. And this is where I started thinking of, becoming a chef.
What inspired you?
Well, it's funny because I think I was in my 20s and I couldn't really eat the food that I wanted to, that I grew up eating back home in Jerusalem, and I had to cook myself, and I used to go and shop and buy my ingredients, and literally the idea of cooking came out of necessity. And I know a lot of people, chefs, say, oh, I used to cook from when I was 10 or 12, but I really actually only started cooking when I was a student, first in Tel Aviv and then here in Amsterdam. And really just to have the food that I like, but also to share it with friends and entertain. And
we spoke to friends of yours who told us that you were cooking many times, and they were invited to your small attic many times. And one of them, living at the time in Amsterdam, now lives in New York, and we spoke to him. Have a look.
The first time I saw him, it was the interview for this honors program at Tel Aviv University. I remember Yotam was riding a Vespa. We were the group of the elite smart students, but he was obviously smart. He's very modest, he's very shy, reserved a little bit, but he was, everybody's sweetheart. Everybody liked him. I left to Amsterdam, that was the summer of '93. A few months later, he came to visit me. And he looked around and he said, this is nice, this Amsterdam thing. I think I can do this. And, he and his partner at the time, Noam, moved to Amsterdam, to an apartment on Herengracht 76, I think. They had the top floor. And that became our base. We used to visit them regularly. Yotam would cook. In terms of going out, they used to do the gay scene. I remember once we went to the Roxy and it was a jungle night. And Yotam and I became animals. We just did every animal in the jungle. We were dancing. Yotam was, in the first year, he was simply writing his master thesis, which he eventually wrote in Amsterdam about photography and philosophy. Towards the end, he said, I am not continuing with the academia, because he didn't like that isolation of just being with the books. He said, I don't like that. I like seeing people. I like being around people. I would like being out in the world. And we didn't see it coming, but now, of course, he is Yotam Ottolenghi, and then he was Yotam.